I guess it's not giving away too much about the play to say it begins here in Warwickshire on a sunny summer's day in 1914, and so just writing that bit, it's great because I feel like it's a world I understand, and I recognise these people, and I suppose it makes it poignant for me that if I was born 90 years earlier, I would be one of those lads that would have been going from this part of the country away to war.
A completely remarkable event happened in late December 1914, an event that for me is really inspirational, and that's important because our memories of the First World War, quite rightly, often focus on the terrible, tragic losses that followed. But there was this moment, not really repeated since then in our history, where on both sides, everybody fighting in those trenches decided to lay down their arms over Christmas. It happened spontaneously, it wasn't authorised, it wasn't permitted, and indeed some people objected and refused to participate in the truce. But right along the Western Front, groups of men on either side of the line decided to celebrate Christmas.
The Royal Warwickshires were very, very central to the truce. They were in the Plug Street area at the time, which is where there was certainly a football match, which is a very important part of the story. Not your kind of well-organised 11-a-side with a referee and a linesman, but they played football in the turnip field at Plug Street Wood. It just says a lot about war and forgiveness, and it's a very moving story.
We felt it was very important to commemorate that moment of hope and that moment of truce and of peace, to remind ourselves that that's possible. It's also a beautiful thing, I hope, to commemorate at Christmas. So it will be a way of us celebrating Christmas in a year where we're remembering this terrible war. I was very keen for the RSC to make sure we commemorated, alongside lots of colleagues in the arts, the moment where the First World War started 100 years ago. It's important because we're a national company and we, in some sense, need to tell the stories of that nation. But as the Royal Shakespeare Company, we have a special responsibility, I think. Shakespeare set us a kind of challenge in his history plays to make sure that key moments in British history from which we might be able to learn, which might inspire us, which might reveal us to ourselves, continue to be written and explored and illuminated.
It's a story of kind of hope against the odds, and it should be a very moving kind of experience, I think.
We want to make a story, a play, an evening at the theatre that is really appealing and interesting and memorable for all the family. Some of the events of the First World War were pretty tough going, some terrible things happened, so we perhaps wouldn't recommend it for the very youngest children. But actually there's a lot of festive joy in the story, and there are lots of very exciting moments of adventure and of courage. So actually we think it'll be suitable from ages 9, 10 and up. And indeed a lot of our young people will know the story of the First World War, will be studying it in school and thinking about it. And we hope this will be a really exciting and engaging way to come and see the story brought to life on stage.
It's a wonderful story, and I think it's also, because it's a story about hope and about forgiveness, it's exactly the kind of story that we are kind of drawn to at Christmas time.